and welcome to Finextra TV. I'm Angelica Malin, coming to you from Sibos 2023 in Toronto. Today we're talking about European banking trends, and I'm joined by Liliana Fratini Passi from CBI. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for the invitation, for this opportunity to share some insight from CBI perspective. Thank you so much.
So firstly, how can CBI be identified?
Yes, first of all, CBI is a public limited consortium company, and just recently, in last June, July, we also became a benefit corporation. It comprises more than 400 financial institutions in the role of shareholders and customers, and we have been working over the last 20 years developing centralized application and network infrastructure to ease communication between banks and non-financial institutions in a business to consumer perspective. So we deliver payment services for the communities, for the banks, in order to support them in offering those services to their customers, corporates, public administrations, and consumers. And we can define ourselves an Italian ecosystem, an industry utility, because in developing our services, we bear in mind the necessity to create this interconnection with all the actors, market players, public administrations, customers, and also taking into account the stakeholders' requirements.
And let's talk a little bit about open banking. What is open banking, and specifically PSD3, how does that impact the European banking market?
Well, thank you for this question. Just to say that at the beginning of this year, we recently published the second global Open Finance report with the support of PwC. And thanks to this report, we stated the value once again of the open banking, but to enlarge the scope to the open finance, which can be defined the opportunity for banks and non-banks, so payment service providers and non-payment providers, to reciprocally share information, data, financial data, well, of course, subject to prior consent of their customers, and so to share this information in order to enlarge their business offers, to provide these new opportunities or new financial services to their customers thanks to this information. And you can imagine that open banking or open finance have been pushing over the last years by the European Commission regulations. So far, we are assisting to a boost from the European Commission in defining a new legal frameworks. In particular, we are assisting to for instance, the digital finance package under consultation. We have the Digital Data Act or the Open Finance consultation, but in particular last June from the European Commission they published the draft proposal of the Payment Service Directive 3 as well as the Payment Service Regulation. In particular, the second one proposed a mandate adoption of instant payments and as well as a mandate adoption of the confirmation of pay. So if we look at this new legal framework, we are assisting something that is pushing the open up of the open finance, enlarging the opportunity with greater information on the finance environments, enabling subjects, finance and non-finance subjects, to offer wider and deeper services thanks to this financial information.
Thank you for explaining that so clearly. And in terms of challenges, what is CBI doing to help the financial sector overcome these macroeconomic challenges?
Yes, I've already already said that there is a lot of turbulence in the legal frameworks. At Europe, at least, we are seeing a lot of coming directives, as well as we are assisting at a new awareness about cyber security, and in particular the necessity to create a well and secured and even more integrated ecosystem. In doing that, we've been working on launching several services. First of all, several years ago, in 2019, we've been launching CBI Globe, which is an API centralized based on cloud platform through which all the account service payment service providers, all the financial institutions are able to meet the regulation of payment service directive, exposing the information about their customers. But aside that, we over the years we reached the 80% of the market, the Italian market shares. About numbers of banks are dealing, roughly 500, and at the same time we were able to integrate more than 180 third parties providers in the role of payment initiator service and account information service providers, with roughly over 500,000 API invocation over the years. So it is clear that we are now playing a central role, at least in Italy, for enabling this requirement of PSD2 obligation for banks. But aside that, we also have been working on launching other services, such as the CBI Globe Active Role, which is a platform enabling third-party providers in interconnecting with all the banks. But aside, we also have been working in launching the IBAN check, which is a centralized verification between the fiscal code, the VAT, and the IBAN, to avoid misdirection of payments and errors. As well as we've been working on the launch of CBI Go, which is another service enabling and easing the onboarding process for consumers and customers to corporates. But I'm also proud to say and to share that today we've been launching the press release through which we announce a collaboration with the Switch in the area of on the confirmation of payee. And so Swift, thanks to the pre-validation services, working with CBI to enlarge the name check, which is the last service we launched just a few months ago, in enabling a verification between the correspondence of the name and the IBAN. So these are relevant aspects because I foresee the capability of our company to ensure our customers, so the Italian banks, to enlarge, to open up to our cross-border markets, to be reached by cross-border financial institutions, to have answers on their validation on the name check, confirmation of pay, as well as on their turn to invoke our other confirmation in the name check at cross-border level. Just, of course, bear in mind the necessity to reduce frictions and misdirection, reduce investment for financial institutions. So this is our main challenge and scope.
Sounds like an exciting time. And looking to the future, what's next for CBI?
Yes, we are now working especially in implementing this cross-border approach. In this cross-border approach, we are working not only in making this name check and pre-validation collaboration with SWIFT, but in particular we are in understanding how to cooperate not a national but a cross-border level, and maybe understanding some other common path for enabling this ecosystem interconnected and well secured. We all know that cybersecurity is one of the main challenges, and according to that, name check, confirmation of payee will be one of the initial service through which we can add some other value-added service on top, maybe to enlarge our offer for the open finance scenario. So we are working on it to secure all the payment service transactions.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today, Liliana.
Thank you so much for this attention and opportunity.